The last thing Captain Jalen Ward expected on a mission to the edge of the Veil Nebula was to be hailed as a hero by an alien queen. Yet here he was, floating through the violet glow of an alien medical bay, the scent of ozone and crushed blossoms thick in the air, staring into the luminous golden eyes of the warrior he had just saved. Her name was Kael'ri, a Valkyrian, a species of tall, crystalline-skinned women born of starfire and battle. Her armor shimmered with silver fractals, and her voice carried the echo of 1,000 distant storms. She had been ambushed by raiders near the nebula, her ship torn apart by plasma fire. Jalen, ignoring orders, had flown through the debris field to drag her escape pod from the flames. Now she stood before him, both alien and heartbreakingly human in the way her lips trembled. "You risked your life for me," she said, her accent lilting like music. "A human would not survive the radiation that close to the veil." "Why?" Jalen shrugged, trying to mask the fatigue clawing at his bones. "Because you were dying and I was there. That's reason enough." Her eyes softened, the crystalline light dimming to amber. "Among my kind, such courage is intimate." He didn't understand her meaning until later. Scene 2: The Recovery. They took him to Eryndor, the Valkyrian homeworld. Jalen was the first human ever allowed within its glass-spired cities, where the rivers shone with liquid starlight and the wind carried faint whispers of cosmic energy. The Valkyrians were a warrior race, but their culture prized honor above conquest. Saving Kael'ri had bound him to her by a sacred law, the debt of life. For 3 days he was kept under guard, treated with reverence and a touch of suspicion. Kael'ri visited often, bringing him strange crystalline fruits that shimmered with color. As he healed, she told him of her sisters, Lyra, the strategist, and Saren, the healer. Together they led the triune command of their fleet. On the 4th night, as twin moons bathed the city in silver light, Kael'ri invited him to the ceremony of unity. It was meant to honor the savior of her life. Jalen, unaware of its deeper meaning, agreed. Scene 3: The Ceremony. He stood in a vast hall of mirrors, surrounded by Valkyrians whose translucent armor refracted the starlight into 1,000 hues. Kael'ri approached him, wearing nothing but strands of energy light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Behind her stood 2 others, Lyra and Saren. Lyra's eyes were sharp, violet like burning plasma, her posture commanding. Saren was softer, her aura warm and golden, her touch filled with calm. Kael'ri raised a hand. "By your act of courage, the balance of life has shifted. You have bound not 1 but 3. Before he could ask what she meant, Lyra stepped forward. "Among our kind, when one sister's life is saved, the bond extends to her blood. You are part of us now, Jalen Ward. Whether you wish it or not." He froze. "Part of you, how?" Saren smiled gently. "In body, spirit, and dream." A surge of energy passed through him as the hall dissolved into radiant light. The air shimmered, and he felt warmth spread through his chest, seeping into his veins like molten gold. The Valkyrians chanted softly, their voices weaving into a melody that filled the air with vibrations. Then everything went dark. Scene 4: The Awakening. When Jalen awoke, he wasn't in the hall anymore. The soft hum of alien machinery had been replaced by quiet breathing, gentle, rhythmic, surrounding him. The air smelled faintly of starlight and blossoms. He turned his head. Kael'ri was beside him, her hair like molten silver against the pillow. But to his other side, Lyra, her violet gaze half open, a faint smirk playing on her lips. And beyond her Saren, curled against his arm, glowing faintly in her sleep. Panic jolted through him. What is this?" Kael'ri stirred, opening her eyes. The bond completed itself in your rest. It is not what you think, human. This is not flesh joining flesh. It is the merging of life energy. Lyra added, voice teasing but edged with command. Though, should you wish it to become more physical, that would not offend our customs. Saren only smiled, tracing her fingers over his chest. You carry our resonance now. You are linked to us through light. When we fight, you will feel our strength. When you suffer, we will feel your pain. Jalen sat up, trying to steady his breathing. So I'm connected. To all three of you. Kael'ri nodded. Until the stars themselves fade. Scene 5, the battle returns. He didn't have long to ponder his new reality. The next morning, alarms blared through the spire. The same raiders who had attacked Kael'ri's ship were descending upon Eryndor. Kael'ri and her sisters armed themselves, their armor lighting up with energy drawn from the bond. Jalen grabbed a fallen plasma rifle. He wasn't Valkyrian, but he felt their pulse, 3 heartbeats echoing within his own. When he fired, his shots glowed with the same crystalline light as their blades. Together, they fought through the invading ships, moving as one. Lyra's commands guided his instincts. Saren's calm steadied his aim. Kael'ri's fire gave him courage. When the battle ended, Eryndor stood safe once more. Scene 6, the choice. Days later, Jalen stood on a terrace overlooking the glowing rivers. Kael'ri joined him, her armor gone, her form soft under the fading starlight. You could leave now, she said quietly. The bond will fade with distance, though it will never truly die. You would be free. He looked toward the stars, the same ones he once dreamed of exploring alone. But he didn't feel alone anymore. I think, he said, taking her hand, I've already found my place among the stars. Kael'ri's golden eyes brightened, and somewhere in the distance, her sister's laughter echoed through the night. And as the twin moons rose over Eryndor, the human who had once been a stranger to their world stood among them, not as savior, not as prisoner, but as one of their own. The next dawn broke across Eryndor in ribbons of gold and violet. The city was still rebuilding, the air humming with quiet relief after the battle. Jalen stood at the edge of the crystalline terrace, watching the twin suns rise above the horizon, their light scattering through the sky like shattered glass. Behind him, soft footsteps approached. Kael'ri joined him, her silver hair flowing freely, her armor replaced with a simple robe that shimmered faintly with her inner light. She looked at him with something deeper than gratitude, something ancient, binding, and tender. You have done more than save me, Jalen Ward, she said. You have changed the course of my people's fate. He smiled faintly. Guess I'm getting good at breaking the rules of the universe. Kael'ri's lips curved into a smile, but her gaze was serious. You don't have to stay. The bond would fade. With time, with distance. You could return to your world, to your stars. He turned to face her fully, feeling the pulse of the bond still alive in his chest, a rhythm shared with her and her sisters, resonating like a heartbeat across galaxies. Maybe, he said softly. But I think the stars brought me here for a reason. Maybe it's time I stopped running toward the unknown and built something within it. Kael'ri stepped closer, resting her forehead against his. Then you are one of us now, human or not. From the spire behind them, Lyra's voice rang out with amusement, and Saren's laughter chimed like bells. Jalen looked toward the horizon, the twin suns rising higher. For the first time in years he felt at peace.